Heyo everybody, Haku here with my review for episode 9 of Zombieland Saga. I totally love this episode, and I'm sorry this is like 2 days late, because I'm running a little bit behind because last weekend I had holiday travel that threw me off, plus having to spend all day Monday fixing some technical issues just threw me like a day behind. And I haven't been able to catch up yet, but hopefully this weekend everything will be caught up and no more videos will be late. But that aside, I really love this episode. I feel like this is exactly what I was wanting pretty much the whole season, was more character stuff, more getting into stuff with their pasts. And it was really, really good. I was getting what I wanted. I will say, last episode was kind of special when it comes to having an emotional story that really clicks and really works well. A lot of times anime will have just that one episode that's really, really outstanding. And the show is very, very good. Probably my favorite show all year even. It's really good on a week-to-week basis. But especially last episode was really good on the emotional side of things. This episode I don't think really was quite as emotional. But last episode I said, in addition to being so emotional, it was one of the funniest episodes. I laughed the most at it, as well as crying through it. But this episode, I feel like I may have laughed even more than I did last week, especially during the first half of the episode. The first half of the episode, where all the characters were together, they had a lot of really good gags, they were introducing a lot of things, and it was really, really funny. The second half was still funny, still good, but it got more into the emotional stuff, more into the character development stuff. Was doing less of the gags. We didn't get to see the full cast the whole time. But generally, this was just a really, really good episode. And I just remembered while I was talking about that I want to say thank you for the response to the last video. It's been really good. Same as most of the videos earlier this season. Thank you for that. And I am behind on comments, but this weekend, again, as well as catching up to everything, one of the big things to catch up to is answering everyone's comments so I can do the high Q&A video. So I will be catching up and answering those comments. Don't think I'm just ignoring you or anything. But either way, let's start talking about the episode part by part. We're starting off with these flashbacks. We see, whoa, my voice cracked. Starting off with these flashbacks, we see Saki with her friend, and we get to see Saki's Maskuchi, her Tamagotchi. I was like so happy. Every time there's a Saki's Tamagotchi reference, I'm just so happy. And of course I knew I was going to like this episode too, because you've seen throughout my reviews, Saki has been one of my favorite characters throughout the entirety of the show. And we get a hint as they're going by. We see that sign to let us know that it's 1997 when this went on, which is the year that Saki died. So we have our beginning speech from Kotaro that we have at the beginning of every episode, basically. And he's saying that old people make up most of Saga, so you need to appeal to the old people. So they go to do the Kashima dance stuff. That was all funny and all. But it's one of those things where I thought that was going to be a main premise of the episode, and they were just like, nah, side joke. We're going to forget all about this for the rest of the episode. So we have... I love that they were supposed to appeal to old people, but I guess at the end of the day, when we saw their performance, I guess they appealed to delinquents instead, but either way. So we get to see this blonde girl is watching them kind of angrily, and I loved all of the stuff with Lily and Tai. I have said before that Lily's one of those characters that I wasn't expecting to care that much about. I was thinking she was just going to be the generic lolly and stuff, but she is one of the funniest and most entertaining characters, and also has been kind of an MVP of the team. But everything this episode with Lily and Tai, they had multiple scenes together, and of course Tai is constantly one of the funniest characters. So the two of them together were so great. Especially when the delinquent showed up and Lily was killing me doing the little punching thing, cheering Tai on as she was biting the one girl. It was so good. Another thing to bring up is the OST whenever the delinquent girls, the Dorami girls, showed up. The OST they used for them was great. It was so funny. It was killing me. again saying that. And I love how they had just pink scooters instead of real bikes. But even the ones that had real bikes, the bikes were like really some weird Power Ranger shit they were on. But one great gag is when they were like, "Huh? What middle school are you from? What do you guys think you're doing coming here and dancing on our turf?" And Lily's like, "Well, technically, I'm eternally an elementary schooler." So they think for a second and they're like, "Okay, you get a pass." Because they're like, picking on elementary schoolers is kind of lame. So they were like, you get a pass. Or maybe they were saying it because it's kind of mean, but it came off as they were like, that's kind of lame. So like, okay, you get a free pass. But Lily was killing me. That's when Ty went in for the bite and everything. Saki's animation whenever she would jump into delinquent animation mode was really, really funny. And again, I think they've done a lot of references with their animation style, and I feel like this was another reference to those kinds of shows in anime and artwork, reference in their animation style. So that's when we get the reveal that they are Dorami, and that's what sort of shocks Saki. And the boss girl currently is the daughter of the first boss. And also they go to meet Kurosuke, and Kurosuke is huge now. Originally that's what Saki and her friend were fighting against, but they're just this huge, weird conglomerate of like middle school bikers now for whatever reason. Oh man, the driving scene. We need more of this. Kotaro driving during all of this chaos was great. We got some Yugiri and Junko in there. Ai just looking annoyed with everything is kind of usual. Sakura being nervous and trying to hold everything together. And then Lily and Tai arguing was so good. Again, the two of them together. And Kotaro getting pissed off trying to drive with all the chaos is so good. But Saki jumps out. Then what did I put in my notes? Oh my god. This scene was another great one where okay, we had the two girl gangs fighting or whatever, and the Favaro cop shows up again. So Favaro is back, the cop is back. And when he pulls up, I'm pretty sure he's making motorcycle noises with his bicycle, which I loved. Just that little detail of him like joking around making the motorcycle noises as he pulled up, like, "What's up, ladies?" Just like he did with the rappers where he shows up rapping as well. Favaro Cop is so good. So then we get the reveal, obviously, that the mom is Saki's friend, and the mom is best girl. Holy hell, mom is best girl. But she wanted to grow up, she wanted to just be a normal girl, have a normal family, because that's what she didn't have, and raise her daughter to be normal, which Saki doesn't understand, because that's a very vague and nebulous concept. But Saki recognizes the daughter's eyes. We get to know that, and I love Kotaro's serious role when he's talking to Saki. We've seen this multiple times already, where he has this act that he plays of the kind of asshole manager to all of them, but then when he isn't in that act and he just talks to them, it is actually really helpful and really cool. So then we have the mom remembering the crash. That's the way we get to know and see what happened with Saki. And she still has Mascucci. When she opened the drawer, I was like audibly freaking out. She still has Mascucci. And then we learn the terms of their challenge are that they're going to play chicken with the edge of a cliff. And that's when you learn that, of course, Saki died because Saki didn't break. It's like the last one to break wins or whatever, but Saki didn't break. Then, again, with Saki showing up and her meeting eyes and whatever with the mom, all that was so good. My heart was breaking. And again, they do it again, and Saki doesn't break. So that was great. And I love at the end, we have the conclusion. Saki still doesn't get what normal is. And a lot of people I saw in comments and stuff, and in discussions were saying that it's really, really good because Saki found a way to do all this while both she was able to, how do I put this? she was able to appeal to the side of the mom saving her daughter and keeping her daughter from doing something stupid and dangerous, and yet at the same time appeal to the daughter by kind of going along with her delinquent, rebellious sort of way of doing things. So she kind of found a middle way between the two of them, which was cool. So then we have the performance at the end. The outfits are so cute. I loved ponytail version Sakura and ponytail version Lily were great. They had Tai with the mask on. The outfits were great. I forget what Yugiri looked like, how she was any different. I think maybe she just had her hair down. But yeah, either way, I loved the Delinquent Idol outfits. And it was great. And the end, the rock guys were there. It was so good. And they did something that was both funny, but I think is also important for the story. Where the rock guys, who are obviously joke characters, look around and they're like, wow, it's so cool. There's so many more weirdos here now. And I think that's really cool because as a group, Franchushu is building this fan base where they have these rock guys, and then they get the, I guess, kind of the kids that were watching them doing their various live performances, and then more fans, like normal Idol fans. They get Lily's father, and now they have the delinquent girls, and they're getting this really sort of mix of different people all coming together to be their fans, which I think is something that's important. And yeah, normal Idol fans, I guess, from the Saga Rock performance. Sorry. But yeah, I thought it was a super, super funny episode. This stuff, with getting into their past, getting into character stuff, this is exactly what I've wanted. And it was constantly doing something that I don't fault it at all for, where I was constantly saying just talk to each other. Who cares if you know it's Saki and that she's a zombie? I'm sure you're friends, you can work it out, you can keep it a secret between you, but I really want to see you reconnect. And that was something I wanted to see with Lily and her father. And it did something great where I'm constantly wanting more. I'm constantly wanting them to do this stuff and to just come out with everything. And yet, while I'm constantly wanting that, at the same time, I'm not upset at all. I'm completely happy with what we got. So they definitely take the always leave you wanting more thing, and they do it well. The only thing I would say is even somewhat a negative about this episode, and it wasn't a perfect episode, it was damn near it. It was really, really good. And it probably deserves an even higher score than what I'm giving it, to be honest. But I will say the animation was down somewhat, especially towards the beginning. There were a lot of these things that you can tell that anime does, where the character is still and nothing on the frame is moving except for their mouths. And there were a lot of shots where the animation was just down. But of course they had a 2D performance at the end when they did the delinquent performance. At least I remember that being in 2D. I think it was in 2D. If it's in 3D CG, then maybe my memory is just shit. I only watched the episode once. I haven't gone back and rewatched it or anything yet. Whereas last week I watched the episode like 3-4 times. Probably, at least. So yeah, I'd give this 9.5 badass moms out of 10. But you could argue it deserves an even higher score. I think it was a really, really good episode in both. It's a comedy show, bringing really good comedy stuff, but also doing well with character development, doing well with storytelling. I will say that last episode probably did those things better, but this episode still was really, really good. And I'm excited for next episode. Yugiri was doing the preview, so it might be a Yugiri-centric episode, but from the frames we saw, it didn't look like that. It looked like just sort of a winter vacation type episode. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if it's a Yugiri-centric episode or not. Because we still haven't had a Yugiri past an explanation, nor have we done that for Sakura or for Tai. We have 3 episodes left. I think this might be going 13 or 14. I haven't actually checked recently. But if it is only going 12, we only have 3 episodes left to get backstory on those 3, if we are, and I don't think we necessarily need to. And there's always the chance, too, that they could leave things open-ended for a second season, because something that they've done here is that we except for the one thing we saw about Junko, about Ai, about Saki, about Lily. Except for those small things we saw, we don't know what the rest of their life was like. So there's still a whole lot more conflict and a lot more story they could tell for all of the characters, a lot more development and growth they could show for them. So I think a second season's entirely reasonable for this show. So yeah, even though this doesn't seem like the show to typically get a second season, the type of show to typically get one, I could totally see it. I mean, they could have story to tell if they decided to go that route. So yeah, I suppose that's it. I'll end the video here. It is a little long, but I expected it to be because I love talking about this series because it is really good. But like if you did like the video, and comment down there to tell me what you thought of this, episode, what you thought of my thoughts on it and all of that. Subscribe for more Zombieland Saga, much more on the channel. Follow on Twitter if you want. I can try to keep you updated there and stuff for the channel. And if you want a link to our Discord server to talk to me or more of us there, we talk a lot about Zombieland Saga usually. So yeah, if you want a link to the Discord server, just ask and I'll give you a link. Sure, it's free and open for anyone. That's it. Thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.